what shall we draw? We can draw anything. We just need one of these and a couple of other pieces of equipment, and you can draw and get started today. When I'm out and about chatting to people about art, I come across a lot of people who say, well, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Well, guess what? You don't have to. Most people I meet have been put off by drawing at some point and think they can't do it. The great thing about drawing or sketching is all you need is one of these and potentially one of these, and if you really want to, one of those. Now, I don't use that very much. I'd rather sketch and incorporate any mistakes into my work. But for instance, if you've been on my channel before, you will see that I quite often will do a pencil drawing underneath watercolour. So in which case you may wish to have an eraser just to take back some of those pencil marks so they don't show through, or if you get something wrong. But guess what? Things generally aren't wrong, it's just you might just slightly adjust something. It's about losing the worry about getting it wrong. So in order to draw, you just need a pencil. Now this particular pencil is a 3B, which I think you can just see there. Doesn't really matter if you've got a B pencil, which is this one, or an HB pencil, which is a lot harder than the 3B. It doesn't matter, just use what you've got. The softer the pencil, so going up in the Bs, so if you go 4B, that's softer than this 3B, you get more dark marks and the actual graphite spreads in a much richer way. But if you haven't got those pencils, please don't worry, you're just going to make some marks. So the sketchbook here is just cheap, very cheap, inexpensive paper sketchbook that you can just go for it and make some marks on. The trick is buy some fairly smooth paper, but you don't have to have specialist drawing paper. Obviously cartridge paper is the one that most people go to if they wanted a specialist drawing paper, but you don't have to. This is really cheap, inexpensive, and I'm already making some lovely marks. The pencil's moving really nicely over that. I can be free and not worry about it because this doesn't cost much money. So you've got your materials, you've got a pencil of some sort, you've got a sketchbook. So why are you watching me? Well, I can draw. I have been drawing since I was about 2 years old. So this is a still life. You can see how dark the graphite is here, and then really pale, just gentle, very soft lines here and there, different textures. So this is an art book I had, a candle, a vase. Now that was done in 2024. So if I take you back in time, my history, and this is 1982. So back in the 80s, I used to spend a lot of time sketching from magazine articles. So you see real darkness here around the head here and on the shirt. Now the only way I could have got that dark is to have a soft graphite pencil, not a hard one. So I must have had maybe a 4-6B, something like that. And then we've got a little cat here. Again, that would have been from a magazine picture, so technically it's not my picture because I would have copied it before I knew anything about copyright. But it doesn't mean to say you can't use magazines to copy things, but it's much better if you can set yourself up with something as a still life or something similar in your own world from your own photos. Here's another one, and that one again is a photo that I used as a reference, and you can see that I really enjoyed drawing. 1982 again. I've tried to show some depth. The dark shadows had sort of given you depth in the picture. Is it perfectly laid out? Oh no, absolutely not. It's not a brilliant layout. He's not quite right size in various places, but it was a long time ago, guys. And the reason that I enjoyed drawing so much is it was my outlet, and to be honest, I used to draw most days. Here's another one. This is from 1981. This is Martin Shaw. For all of you who are in the UK and my sort of age, Martin Shaw, professionals, and you will know he's also local to Norfolk to this day. So is that a very good likeness of him? Probably not, but that was me playing around with portraits when I was younger. You can see that I've very much hard outlines on lips, etc., which is the way you tend to draw things when you don't really know how to draw something. But enjoyed doing his hair. And again, I've got a little bit of dark here, but it's not as dark as previous pictures, so that might have been a 3B or something similar to get that effect. Sometimes you can get inspired by all sorts of things. This is the original book that inspired me to draw, by Adrian Hill. This is actually not my book because I lost my original, and I picked this one up in a charity shop, and it's actually been signed by the author, and there is a little sticker here which I won't show you because it's somebody else's information. It was a prize to this particular person in 1965 for handwriting. So this book's been around a long time, and my favourite part of this book is Let's Draw a Horse. Now nobody panics, we're not going to do a horse today, but here we go. This is how this book works. Very simple. How do horses work in comparison to humans? How do their joints work, etc. Now when I was young, I used to read this over and over again, wishing I could draw like this. How on earth does this person draw a horse that looks that good? And the reality of it is, the more you study something and practice something, the better you will get at it. This is my favourite one, with the horses just resting, grazing happily. Then they move on to Let's Draw a Cow. So this is one of those books that is very, very basic and yet really inspirational. However, it worked for me. You have to find a book or a video or something similar that really works for you, because you may pick up this book and find it completely off-putting, and that's the trick, is you have to find the right information to suit the way your brain works. So if something's not working for you, whether it's a tutorial, reading a book, looking at a magazine article, if it doesn't make sense, try a different one. I did this in art group the other day. You can see it's what most of us would generally do to create a drawing. We draw an outline of the leaves, of the stem, of this, what do you think it is? Hopefully you can see it's an orange. That's the go-to method of drawing, is outlining. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are other ways you can do it. This one will be harder to see, but you may be able to tell that there's no outline. I haven't done a line around anything. I've just created a background by going this way up against where the form of the orange would be, and then the orange itself I've gone the other way and tried to leave spaces for the leaves. It's not quite as easy to see that that's an orange as this one is, but it's more interesting to draw, and it really makes you think, because you're not drawing the leaves, you're drawing the spaces between them. The thing about edges, this is an edge around here, is an edge is where there's a change, and so just the fact that those lines go one way, these lines go the other way, is enough to suggest an edge. Then I've combined the two. This is some line work. There is a line around that part of the orange. There is lines around the leaves. But then this side of the orange has no line around it. This is just me scumbling just little circles around the edge here. Just adding some on while I'm talking to you. So I like the fact that the orange is dimpled. So I tried to just suggest that by the marks I'm making, little round circles. And where I wanted a bit of shadow, you just go over again, slightly more pressure till you get a little bit more shadow. And the leaves, you can see then I've done a slightly different mark where I'm following the curve of the leaf, and this one as well, to try and suggest the shape, the way the leaves are curling in on themselves. And then where it's under there and it's a bit darker, you go over more than once, you press harder, you do whatever you need to do to make that area there different to that area there. Same with that dark area there is different to that. And you get the idea. So this side of the orange has got no line round it. This has got a little bit of a line round it. So I'm suggesting the whole form and just outlining some areas and not outlining others. I know not all of you on here will be painters. Some of you just want to sketch. But this is the sort of watercolour I would create to paint the orange. And there are no lines on this. I haven't used the pencil first. I've just done what I've done previously with the pencil and found my way around the shapes. So there's no outline around this orange. It's just colour and then speckled darker and different where I want an edge. So the leaves here, they're blending in a little bit there, so it's not quite so obvious an edge, whereas here is a very definite edge between those two areas. Another version of a painting of an orange. This one, I've used a fine liner pen after I've painted the orange. And a lot of you who will have seen my videos before know I love lines. So this is me using the pencil idea of little round shapes just to give a little bit more structure to this underlying painting. But again, the painting was done completely freehand, no drawing involved. So painting and drawing really do go hand in hand. As I've said before, you do not have to know how to draw to create a painting, but there comes a time when drawing skills really can help. So my advice is to get some pencils, grab yourself some paper of any description, pencil sharpener and an eraser if you really must, because try not to use it too much, and just start sketching things that you see. And if you're stuck for inspiration, sketch your own art materials. So grab your sketchbooks, everybody, get yourself a pencil. If you can get a set of drawing pencils, that's great. Just to start out, don't spend a lot of money, but look for the B's. So if you've got an HB, that's hard. If you've got H's with a number, that's hard. Anything with a B and a number going up gets softer and softer, allowing you to do a little bit more blending and get some darker marks. So you just need these and your pencil sharpener and an eraser, and then you can start sketching. The only thing that's stopping you is you. So get sketching. Don't worry, this is your private sketchbook. You can't get this wrong. We'll look at some different techniques on the next video. Thanks for watching. Happy drawing. See you soon. Bye.